Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a live stream. It's been a while since we've connected like this. I think the last time I did a live, I had dinner with you on a finca in Fredonia. This time I'm on a finca just outside of Medellin. Welcome. Come on in here. I'm going to share this link in my Telegram groups so that people can come on in. We're going to be discussing a wide range of topics. I'm sure you guys have some topics on your mind that you'd like to discuss. As you get your questions ready, I'm going to open up this this bottle of wine. Autoritas. I think it's an appropriate name for the times that we are living in. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are tuning in from. I know this is a turbulent time. I know this is a time of extreme transformation. I think my life has changed incredibly. On paper, it might look like it was not so good, but I actually think it was one of the greatest things that could have happened. I do believe things are happening as they need to happen, and it's been a change that I am cherishing and embracing, and I'm excited for what's coming. I know I've been less intentional with my content here on YouTube, and it's something that I'm very aware of, because when you have a brand or when you have a company that you are building, or even if you have a particular niche topic, you create a filter for the overwhelming abundance of opportunities that are out there. And having a specific, clarified mission allows you to get into a really productive flow state and be creating very intentionally. When that's taken away, then all of a sudden, the world is your oyster. There's lots of opportunities, lots of choices, lots of things that can be discussed. But sometimes when we have too many choices, we make less decisions, and that's certainly been something that has been something that I err on the side of is making less decisions. I try to get as much information as possible before I decide and before I act, and that's probably been one of the biggest challenges that I've been overcoming. So I've been facing that head on, and I'm making progress. I'm making steps towards real estate, the holistic health program that'll be developing, as well as some ideas that I have with crypto. So if you've got questions about real estate or the nomadic lifestyle or what's happening right now in Colombia, I know that's on the top of everyone's minds right now, especially Colombians who are, I think, feeling this moment at a very deep level, deeper than I've seen in all the other protests that have kind of come up throughout the years as I've been in Colombia. So let me tap into this chat stream here. What's up, Rene, Jimmy, Ichiban, Alberto? How's it going, guys? Welcome to the chat. Camilo, Tex Blue Jeans. Where you guys coming from? Let me know where you guys are coming in from. I'm here hanging out with you guys. If you got questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Salud. All right, Lawrence from Canada. I've heard things are getting pretty tight in Canada. I am a Canadian citizen. Based on the requirements to get in and out of Canada right now, I might have to hold off my trip to Whistler I spent a couple of years in Whistler, BC, a beautiful ski mountain, about an hour and a half north of Vancouver. Amazing part of the country, but I think it's a bit complicated to get in there now. Jimmy, you're looking for an opportunity to work with me. Is there any chance to work with you? Can I have your contact, please? Experience in customer service and sales, speak Spanish and Portuguese. Give me the chance to be part of you. Yeah, Jimmy, send me an email. Send me your experience and how you think you could assist. I am at that stage where I'm looking to build a team. It's been a big change going from working with 100 people to working by myself, and it's starting from scratch in a lot of ways. Right now, a team is what I need to focus on building to be able to to follow through on these visions that I've been clarifying over the past year. Camilo in Vancouver, how you doing? Drew, hodl ADA, buy property in Colombia, acquire visa, live nomadic. I like the plan, and it's funny you mentioned ADA or ADA. ADA is a crypto which is a system to build systems. I just caught I've heard a lot about ADA. I've heard that, okay, it's a potential Ethereum kind of alternative. But I caught a video from the founder and heard his perspective of how and why they have such a presence in Africa, and how they're actually paying attention to the African business culture. It opened my eyes to the kind of opportunity that ADA is focused on. Africa is so advanced in a lot of ways, especially with cell phone banking, which makes them, in the same way that the isolation of Colombia creates this technological lag in the country. In Africa, I think it sounds like it's a similar type of effect, and it seems like they're going to be able to make leaps and bounds forwards, especially in the crypto space, just because having that lag, it sounds like they're going to be able to take advantage of building new systems from the ground up. It's kind of like, big cities who have metros or underground subways that were built 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It's harder to upgrade those systems. But when you're starting from scratch, like let's say you're building a metro in 2021, hopefully the technology is going to come in and be at a next level, so they'll be able to have a next level metro compared to the other cities. It's kind of this, being behind allows you to step forward quicker sometimes, and it seems like that's what's happening in Africa, and it seems like ADA is really kind of preparing and aiming to become the ecosystem of the technological infrastructure and the digital infrastructure that they're building. Every country right now needs to be paying attention to educating as many software developers, coders, preparing for this fourth industrial revolution. Incredible amounts of value being built and created digitally right now. That's where I think education could have the biggest ROI for countries on the planet today. In Medellin, such an opportunity to have attracted this location-independent, nomadic demographic. The city is just in a ripe position to be able to tap into that digital perspective, that digital abundance. Though, using the resource of the digital entrepreneurs that are all flocking to Medellin to bridge that to the local population, to not only feed the barrios, but to actually help the barrios begin coding and creating this digital civilization that we're forming. So, it's certainly going to be, has been, and will be more for me a focus, as I spend more time here in Medellin. If you don't know me, I'm Australian, Canadian, American. I was living in Whistler. It was 25. It was time to go back to Australia, to the real world, and get a job. A friend suggested we ride motorbikes to South America. I was like, that sounds like a brilliant idea. Let's do that. It took me 7 months to get from Canada to Colombia. I spent 8 months here from Bogota, did a loop, and I'm like, something's going on. I want to stick around. I want to see what's happening here. I spent 8 months. I finished a trip to Argentina and then came back because there was something special in Colombia, and it had this hunger for transformation. And I think that hunger is what is a big part of what's happening in the current events in Colombia right now. So, and I think that is a good thing. I passed through countries that didn't have that had a culture that had relegated to have what they have. I definitely felt that in Nicaragua. So much potential, so much beauty, so much richness, but I didn't feel that anybody wanted to do anything about it, or to progress, or to develop. So I think that's certainly why I ended up in Colombia. And cheers to that. That was 11 years ago. Yeah, so investing in crypto, buying property in Colombia, that's a move. I know I'm going to be getting ready to, apparently banks are allowed to receive and send crypto now, but I don't think any of them have the systems to do it yet. But I'll be definitely paying attention to that. If you'd like to be on the, if you'd like to find out as soon as I find out, head over to the Telegram groups that I have. I'm actually going to put them in the chat right now. Let's go to here. Okay. So in the Telegram groups, why Telegram groups? Well, because I think right now conversation is a thing that we all need to be doing with each other, with various interest groups. I know some of my opinions are potentially in danger for censorship. So, in terms of me staying connected to the community that I'm building here, I think the Telegram groups are a more private way that we can have a conversation and continue a dialogue. So I'm going to put that in the chat right here. And as I find out about how people are buying real estate with crypto, or as I explore the crypto digital civilization, I'm also kind of sharing a lot of information there, and everyone else's, you guys as well. So it's freaking awesome. I'm really enjoying those chat groups because it's much more of a two-way communication. It certainly made me kind of reassess, or kind of narrow down what I'm going to be doing on the YouTube videos, which is much more of a one-way communication in a lot of ways, which, in terms of putting out a message that is well thought out, that is designed to be valuable for a long period of time as it kind of sits on YouTube and gets found. So that's it certainly made me kind of realize how I'm going to be approaching YouTube moving forward. Carlos, New Jersey. All right. Should I invest in Colombia? What is your honest perspective? Should you invest in Colombia? Colombia, the country, the flag, the political system, the organization of policies of how to live and do business. Right now, I think the the underbelly, the underlying agreements that have allowed Colombia to flourish are currently being exposed a little bit, and that's it's a very raw situation right now. Institutional money is a little bit scared. They're looking, okay, the government tried to put through a tax reform, didn't go through. Looks like the government might be having some problems raising some funds. That's not good. Now, that fear, that doubt, that uncertainty is creating opportunities. In real estate, I think those opportunities are still taking time to unfold. I think after it's a 20-year bull market in real estate in Colombia. I think a lot of people have a lot of room, have a lot of patience. Sellers are notorious for being extremely patient to get the price that they want for their property. So should you invest? I would be right now making sure that I would be getting liquid. I would be being ready to invest, and I would be very ready to identify opportunities as they arise. What types of opportunities are we going to see? I think as we go through this, they're going to become clearer. I think I'm bullish on Colombia for tourism as soon as this travel situation is sorted. I think it's going to take a bit more time. I think the vaccine is going to take extra long here to roll out. So it could take time. If you're talking about a short-term rental market, maybe it's I'm seeing a lot of people who are pivoting towards a monthly rental, especially here in Medellin, because the tourists are not traveling in and out as quickly. They're coming here and they're staying here. So we're seeing that there's a shortage of all types of Airbnbs. Hotels are at lower occupancies. Hotels have been hit harder, but then again, that may provide opportunities as real estate repurposes for the needs of the people who want to be in that area. So and I think we're realizing the value of having a piece of real estate that is able to be repurposed. So things to think about. I think Colombia is going to get through it. So I think now would be a time to keep an eye on opportunities. Ciao, Lobo. Rolando, it's going well, mate. All right, Jimmy, looking good. Yeah, connecting Africa in the global economy will be massive. Liquidity in global trade was previously locked in a bad system. Yep. And the people, the countries who are entrenched in those old systems are going to be the last ones to innovate, the last ones to change. So what does that mean? It means that people or countries who are a step behind might, they're the ones who are the hungriest and they're looking for that step up. And if Africa is going to adopt the blockchain and crypto, at a systemic level, who knows? That's exciting to think about how that could transform the future there. Yeah, Nicaragua has great beaches. I had such good fun going through there. We found a guy in El Salvador who welded a rack, custom-made rack for the KLR 650, $30, custom weld job to carry a surfboard. And so from El Salvador south, I was traveling with a surfboard that I could pull over to any beach and grab the board and jump in. It was a defining trip of my life, and I know a lot of you guys are have done one or are thinking about it or starting to explore overland. Absolutely do it. It was one of the you know most significant uh, adventure travel experiences of my life. Yeah, Juicy. I think I've been learning a lot in crypto. I've been I've been studying how next generation creators and businesses are operating, and it's opened up my world to new possibilities. The digital realm has always been really interesting for me to explore, and that's why I've got the map on the screen because that's the first step to doing that. There's a there's an analog of our real situation. It's a digital civilization that we're all imagining. Sure, there's apps, right? But it doesn't truly exist when we click on those apps, right? We go we provide value to that app through our attention because we are able to be monetized by advertisers most of the time, or we're expending energy there, and therefore that is now monetizable in this digital civilization. And the amount of people that pay attention to these different applications create the size and the value of that application. The same thing is affecting the cryptocurrency market. New cryptos, and a crypto is essentially sometimes it's pure currency, sometimes the crypto token is used inside the economics of the business, and that's called the tokenomics. How the algorithm unfolds itself, and what are the rules of supply and demand, how coins are burned or not burned, or a wide array of different conditions. So we've got currencies that are blended with stocks that seem to operate like currencies and stocks, and the value of these are being determined by the amount of attention on that. We've all heard about the Doge coin, the Doge. So the amount of people that are paying attention to these things create the value of it. This is fascinating. This is the largest transfer of generation wealth that we've ever seen. So how could I not want to comment about that? I feel like I can see and understand it for some reason, and I think that's valuable for other people to see and understand, because if you just get your cell phone and use it for Facebook and social media and you don't do anything else, you're not seeing a huge world of opportunity, which can change and improve so many people's situations. I know that has saved me after, when things went down at Life Afar. I found myself with no income in the middle of a pandemic in Colombia, and my ability to negotiate the digital civilization helped me get through that. And I think a lot of people, I think the more you can understand it and perceive what's happening, the better off we're all going to be. So I'm working out ways to deliver the same type of content that I've been delivering as I get around Colombia, as I get around the digital civilization, being able to deliver content here to this channel. So that's just something I'm doing, and I think this is a step in that direction. Ichiban, what does the real estate market in Guatapé looking like? I'm hoping to spend some crypto gains at the end of the year. It looks like paradise. Yeah, man. Make sure you're on the newsletter. I've been hanging out in Guatapé for a reason. I can't say exactly what it is yet, but it's gonna be freaking epic. It's gonna be a synchronous, beautiful opportunity, which, you know, it is what it is. It's happening. Everything is happening as it should be, and I've never felt like I'm in the right place as all of this shit is going down. My interests, my connections, this social media thing, this internet thing, this digital civilization, this crypto, everything is coming together, and um, piece by piece, as I identify opportunities that provide lifestyle and cash flow, I'm going to be sharing them in the newsletter. So I'm going to type that in, newsletter dot sammiller.life. So jump on that. Ichiban Autos, um, yeah, diversifying crypto gains. So once we've worked out how to get crypto into Colombian real estate, what kind of real estate? Guatapé is, let's say here we go. Here we get the map right here. Okay, so Guatapé, slightly outside of Medellin. On the motorbike, it'll take me about I think like hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, right? So we've got, I'm just gonna check to make sure the stream is good. Yep. Okay. So so we've got the Valle de Aburra here, we've got Poblado, straight up Las Palmas, through some beautiful winding countryside. We've got Llano Grande, Rio Negro. Those are the two bigger, or let's say the hub of some of the more expensive, fastest appreciating real estate. We've seen an exodus from the cities, but I think we've seen a continuation of the urbanization of the 51 million Colombians towards the cities. So there is still a movement towards the cities happening, but the people, the Colombians, the foreigners with resources that can afford a finca, are moving to fincas and buying properties in these types of areas. Some people are just moving back to their hometowns. So I think we've seen a real reactivation in some of the rural centers. Now, Guatapé, I'll be honest, when I first went there, I was like, okay, you climb the rock, you can, you go on a boat ride, and that's about it. I was like, okay, what else? I'm going back to Bogota. Bogota is where the action is, right? That unpredictability. The first time I went to Guatapé was, 10 years ago. I'm 36 now. I'm thinking, okay, I'm slowing down a little bit, not too much. I still like getting around. Guatapé serves as a very nice weekend vacation destination. To live there, it really needs better internet. It seems like some spots do have it, so it is possible to be done, but that would be a concern. Also, that it is very geared towards tourism. I know I spent a week there recently, and during the week, especially with the lockdowns, it was a really slow start. So things weren't moving in the town of Guatapé until like midday, just because it's really used to a slower form of tourism. So this is an area that is it's a water bank, and if you're seeing what's happening in the macro, I guess climate change narrative, water, biodiversity, agriculture, all big important industries and opportunities to be paying attention to moving forward. Peñola is a massive water bank. It was actually artificially created about 50 years ago. EPM owns most of the water It's about 75% of the water that they own. And you've got two kind of townships. So El Peñol is much more of the working town, the local working town. I think a lot of people who live here support and work and build the infrastructure. Guatapé is really the tourist hangout area, and you've got the Zocalo, colorful streets, and the whole town is really getting on board with this and creating some really beautiful kind of a place you can walk around and drink coffee and check out some restaurants and get souvenirs and take unlimited amounts of Instagram photos. Now, living there, they've also redone the Esplanade, and it looks really nice. By the way, if you do go to Guatapé, I recommend heading out to exactly this spot. Look for a guy who will rent you a boat, a really, really basic boat. Like I think that one's even like a little bit fancy, but there's it's like a Dodgem car level boat, and you can get it for like 50,000 pesos an hour or 150 mil for like most of the day, and you can go with a few friends, take some music, take some drinks. It is an incredible day out. I really underestimated how much fun that was going to be. So, I've been getting to know this place. I've been getting to know it, and it's got it going on. It's got it going on. It's really tourist geared, but I think what that does is create an opportunity for a type of investment that is renting out for the weekend. It is a very popular weekend destination for people from Medellin. So it does provide that opportunity. The types of projects that are popping up there are some that are going to be where you can own a piece of land. I'm going to estimate it to be at about $70,000 for 2,500 square meters. And then, building on top of that as well. So I like it. I'm keeping out an eye for opportunities that are going to provide that lifestyle option. So something that you can actually stay in and live in and enjoy the benefits of being an investor in, whether that's through your own title or through some type of investor benefits, but also being able to rent it out and generate cash flow. And that means that property management, but it's becoming more developed. There's, I stayed in an Airbnb, and there was a really competent team there. It was actually a Venezuelan host who actually worked for a couple different hostels. So property management is going to be possible in Guatapé. I think, it's definitely on my radar in terms of investment. So that's what's going on there. Just give me some time. I've got some good things coming. It looks like paradise. It is kind of paradise, but it is kind of like that Disney World type paradise where it's that it turns on and puts on the lights and puts on the pretty colors, and it's a real town as well, and I think there's a community that's growing there of foreigners and of locals, and with the internet taken care of, with good quality internet, game changer. At the moment, I think the internet is preventing it from becoming a bit more of a longer term destination. Until then, it's going to be a top tourist destination. I think Guatapé is the number 1 or 2 thing to do in Medellin. So you've got so many people going out there. I think there's a lot of opportunity to be able to provide them with a couple more things to do, so they can they can stay out there a little bit longer. Be careful about the helicopters. They go off like, they do trips like every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, the entire day. So if you're on the helicopter route, it destroys the ambience having a helicopter flying over your head every 15, 30 minutes. Okay. Rolando, yeah, I mean, for a basic lot in Guatapé, we're talking about 70K. You know, with a cottage, a cabin, something simple on top, we're probably talking another 50 to 70K on that. All right, what website do you use to look up available real estate? How about commercial real estate? So for real estate, I mean, it's fincaraiz.com.co. Metro Cuadrado is another one that's a bit more of a Bogota-based one. Commercial real estate, I go through a couple contacts. So I've got a Bogota contact and then a Medellin commercial real estate who's with CBRE. So yeah, if you need an intro there, let me know. Alberto, an idea for a video is a nomad lifestyle with a family. Tips and views from people you may know who've done it successfully. Yeah, I've realized recently that you know, there's a large market, and I think Colombia is at that stage where families are starting to consider Colombia as a destination, and you know, they have different needs. And I know as I'm getting around as a single guy, I'm like, you know, I have different needs, and I make content about me like kind of figuring out those needs. A family, they need schools, they need you know, different types of apartments, they need to know different types of costs. um, so yeah, as a I guess I guess I could ask a family that that already is doing it. So yes, thank you for that. That's coming. Okay, yes, no matter lifestyle with family is a good idea. Miguel, I want to learn from you, bro. All right, I'm sharing as we go. Let me know what you want to know, and I can share my best. Bucaramanga, nice. Yeah, Bucaramanga, another good stuff. Another good one. Another good one. I think Bucaramanga is going to be, you know, I think right now it seems like when people are when they've had a bit of time in Medellin and they've gotten comfortable here and they're ready for a bit of a change, it seems like they're heading to Pereira, Armenia, Manizales, so out towards the coffee triangle there. Uh, I think Bucaramanga is going to be yeah, I think it's going to start seeing, I think it's going to come into its own, and I think it's going to get a lot of people who might have otherwise gone to Medellin. I think it's got a lot of things similar to Medellin, but yeah, I think you know, once it becomes normal, routine, I think people are going to be like, all right, what's next? And I think Bucaramanga is going to get on a lot of people's radars. Out here is the Coffee Triangle. If you haven't seen my videos where I talked about this, moving forward, as I document what's happening here in the physical realm as well as the digital realm, I'm going to be paying attention to 3 locations in Colombia that I think the that are going to that Colombia has to offer for the current generation of people who are looking for ways to live and invest and travel. And travel, I think, is going to be a lot slower. I think we're going to have a lot more conscious travel and slower travel. So, you know, as people are working online, they're going to have the ability to spend a month or two in different locations. That was something I was already kind of paying attention to, but now it's like, okay, people are going to make like turn, you know, they're going to prioritize this a lot higher in their life now. Everyone's been working at home for 6 months, a year. Now that travel's opening up, how long is it going to take them to realize, I could have 3x the quality of life that I could be having if I lived in the same time zone, but further south in a place like Mexico or Colombia. And I think that's a massive opportunity. It's a new generation of tourists that are productive, and they're going to be traveling slower, and they're going to hopefully be traveling more consciously. And I think in Colombia, they're going to be going to 3 areas in particular. So one of them, Medellin. I've been starting to save locations. I'm gonna put this all in like my favorite spots in Medellin. I'm gonna put them on a list for you guys, so you can actually kind of see all the top spots when you come and visit. So Medellin, number one. I mean, we all know, it's got so much going for it. We all see what's happening there, as all of these, you know, if Medellin was a top spot for digital nomads, imagine how it's going to be once digital nomads now an entire generation of people who are working from home. So we've got this digital nomad to the work from home generation. Medellin is going to continue to be an option for that, because it's got that blend of city reliability, plus beautiful nature and beautiful weather. Coffee Triangle is on my radar for where I think a lot of people are going to go once they're maybe not working as hard. They're not looking for that hustle city environment. They're looking to slow it down. They're potentially with their family if they have some type of online education. Although there are some decent schools that are popping up in these areas, because they've been, Armenia is one of the fastest growing out of the lot. There's a airport which has been a bit of a white elephant. I would say it's been delayed for a long time, but it might be getting closer to becoming a reality. That airport is actually going to be coming into Palestina, 30 minutes outside of Manizales. That's going to open up this whole coffee triangle right here, which otherwise, most people are doing a 5 hours in the car to get to. Having an international airport in the center of the coffee triangle is an absolute game changer. So I'm paying attention to that in that area, especially for the older demographic, people who are looking to retire. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of interesting developments and lifestyles pop up in this area, just because it's all beautiful. It's just this huge cluster of beauty and lots of thermal hot springs. Yeah, so that's on my radar. And then the other one is Santa Marta. Santa Marta, nestled on the Sierra Nevada, beautiful mountains here. I mean, the highest coastal mountain ranges we've seen. When I got here, it was basically Santa Marta, Taganga. 10 years ago, that was pretty much that was all was going on. Now we've got Minca, we've got Palomino that are just booming. The domestic tourism market is now realizing this. So many people from Bogota are now starting to remote work in Santa Marta. Really interesting, because the local Colombians are starting to kind of reshape the tourist trail in all over Colombia, but especially in Santa Marta. They travel differently, and I think they're realizing that, okay, yeah, Minca, Palomino, they like that. And they're starting to develop a lot of different things along the coast. So even in these times, it seems like they've been getting enough traffic to keep moving. Some of the more real heavy international focused hostels have had a bit of a harder time. The ones that haven't adapted as much to the local market, just because we've had a big reduction in international tourism. So right now, it's out to Palomino is where most people will get to. Some people will continue up to Cabo de la Vela, up here, Las Gallinas. Beautiful kite surfing out here. So much to do along this coast. And Santa Marta is the capital of it. Minca is the eco hub here. We're going to start seeing lots of eco-friendly, sustainable developments kind of going on there. So beach, jungle, city, it's adventure, it's wild, it's that magical realism of Colombia. You've got 100,000 indigenous people living in the Sierra Nevadas, and they believe it's their mission to protect this ecosystem, which it's the whole package. It's the Caribbean seas to the snow-capped mountaintops. It's freaking unreal. So definitely paying attention to that area. I think that's where we are with our newfound awareness of what we need to be happy and what is valuable. I think that's what we're realizing is those three areas are going to be valued the most by the international community that is going to be arriving to Colombia. Okay, from Edinburgh, Scotland. Okay, I have a friend in Bogota, and I'm concerned about the recent unrest. Yeah, so I have a lot of friends in Bogota, and they've been, haven't been in a month or two. They've been through some rough times. I think the mayor wasn't as she was supposed to be for a lot of people. So I think they realized that wasn't the best choice they could have made. But Bogota. I spent 10 years of my life there, and I didn't have one single boring day there. And it really sucks to see Bogota go through these times. Again, it's just another thing that's held it back from more growth, more development. It's such a difficult city. The diversity of the people in Colombia are there, and it doesn't have that same unified identity which Medellin has. So it's certainly weak because of that, but it has a lot of strengths because of that diversity of culture and history. It's a 500-year-old city. Like that's that's older than many of the countries that we're from, and so it's rough. A lot of people are taking advantage of the chaos, and that makes it even more rough. So we'll see. It looks like recently some of the restrictions have been eased off. I think I think that is a reaction to this protest, to this anger that has been witnessed over the past week. I think that is a good thing. I think that like a reaction like that, response that is like, okay, we're pushing them too far, is appropriate. I think the restrictions were not logical for the science that we have. So Colombia is in danger of getting a communist president. The opposition candidate is extremely popular now, and these current riots made him even more popular, apparently. What are your thoughts on that? So in 2018, there was a candidate, Petro, who did surprisingly well with the number of votes. He represents the Pueblo Colombiano. He is rumored to be very well connected to leftist, communist, extremist groups, and he wasn't a rumor. He was part of one of those groups, and he went into politics. Because he was doing so well, he actually a lot of institutional money was worried about him getting in, and took out some investment leading up to the 2018 election. Is he getting extremely popular now? I don't know. Apparently he was like, okay, it's time to calm down and unify a voice, and so obviously he's positioning himself as the calm person in the room, as a lot of the more extremist groups instigate and cause as much chaos as possible during the protests, because it makes the current administration look bad. So it gets pretty messy. It gets pretty freaking messy. I was in Bogota when Petro was the mayor. It looked like he tried to do some things, but a lot of it just seemed to be temporary and superficial, and putting stickers on buses, and is a really kind of hodgepodge type of deal, as opposed to a Peñalosa developing real infrastructure projects that needed to happen. So I think it would be a shame if he were to take power. I know that a lot of people have said that they would liquidate their investments in Colombia should he get in, because that is a step towards a level of socialism that we've seen isn't effective, and has caused problems in other countries. So we'll see. We'll see. I think the it's still unfolding, and so I'm holding back my predictions on where that's going so far. I have been in San Andres. It's been a long time, so wouldn't have a particular spot to recommend. I think towards the north of the island, you're going to find some options. You might want to head out to Providencia as well, which is a bit more remote. San Andres is a bit more of a straightforward tourist island. How is Santa Marta looking now as far as rental oceanfront properties? So Rodadero, Bello Horizonte, Centro, even like that west part of the Esplanade in Central and Santa Marta might have some opportunity there in terms of new developments coming in. But I would really be considering that as a way to have a pretty diversified investment in terms of, one, having a place that you could use for yourself, and then rental markets that are both for the local and international. Santa Marta is really a popular spot for that. I think Santa Marta realizes it's seen what's happened in Cartagena, and it's realized that it could also have that growth. And so they've been revamping, renovating the downtown. They've really beautified a lot of that area. So I definitely see it going the same way. It was off the radar in a lot of ways, and I think it's coming back onto the radar big time. So because Santa Marta is going to be an area of interest moving forward, make sure to get on the newsletter. I will be presenting. Actually, I have a couple of people who came to me to sell their properties. So yeah, send me an email. I'm going to put that in as well, and I can get you those properties. Bonfire, absolutely taken off. Whitebit listing on Wednesday. Bonfire, another one. It's an endless amount of cryptos coming in there. All right. Okay. Has Colombia experienced the hyperinflation in lumber prices or other construction materials? No, that's U.S. That's U.S. Inflation. No, it's the data. I wouldn't be trusting the data too much. But right now the peso is up to, what is it, 3,800 right now. So there's the peso is weakened a little bit, but in terms of that lumber effect, no, I haven't seen that. The airport in Pereira is new and perfect. 45-minute flight from Medellin. Nice. Yeah, very bullish on that whole area. I love riding through there. Les, the main problem could be dictatorship and corruption. Yeah, I mean, there's yeah. All right, let's I mean, dictatorship and corruption. Sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. Corruption is at most levels of society here. Although there's a lot of people there's 50 billion pesos, which is like 13 billion pesos per year, is stolen by the Colombian government at an estimation. Like, that's messed up. And so when, obviously people are going to the streets when they got given this salty tax deal. And so there's people with real gripes, with real like justified problems that they're sharing. And then they're getting grouped in with the people who are just like, oh, it's like, people without who don't have any jobs, who aren't working, who don't have anything better to do, who are protesting. It's like, yeah, there's those people in the protest, but then there's actually legitimate reasons to be making some really loud noise here. So and corruption is a big one. Corruption, but and I guess here's the Colombian magical realism. Um, this country has flourished for the past 20 years because groups of people, groups of powerful people in Colombia have had some type of mutual, unofficial agreement that nobody knows. I don't know who they are. That has allowed this country to flourish, and certain areas of the economy, of growth, to just be allowed to grow. And that is corruption. But corruption has allowed Colombia to grow. It was, it was hit with this phenomenon and this war on drugs, like this product which they could sell for very high margins, a war on drugs, which is brought in another type of cash flow into the country, and the country has now grown institutionally around those cash flows. And I think where the friction in transformation in Colombia comes from is a negotiation of those cash flows. So corruption is certainly embedded in how things work here, at all levels. Even like it's very common for because there's random bureaucracy in a parking lot, or some type of interaction with a security guard or a lockdown, and they're like, all right, go through anyway, and they let you in, breaking the rules. It's like it's done at all kinds of levels, and that creates a type of freedom that I think a lot of foreigners who come here enjoy, because they're not living in this rigid, if you break that rule, then it's game over. Everything's kind of a little bit negotiable. And I think more people than they realize kind of enjoy that. And the same people who are saying, corruption, we want to get rid of corruption in the government, are participating in lower levels of corruption. But the type and the amount of corruption that's happening at the levels of government is flabbergasting. And when it's tragic when you see massive projects that can help transform the country get money funneled away, and it holds the country back further and further, and it's just too much. So yeah, I'm hoping so, Juicy. Another candidate. I think Colombia, under the right leadership, who can navigate those current negotiations that I was inferring, is the path through this. Camilo, yo sigo siendo muy optimista, incluso si hay una dictadura. I mean, isn't like I'm sure there's some dictatorships that have allowed countries to progress in certain ways. I don't know if that would be necessary for Colombia. I think it's one of the longest standing democracies in its own way in Latin America, and hopefully it can continue that. Miguel, can you live a comfortable life with 2K a month in Colombia? 2K a month, you're talking right now, what are you talking, like 7 million pesos? That's very comfortable. I mean, I lived on 300 to $400 a month for my first 6 years. Was I comfortable? At the time, I was comfortable. I wouldn't be comfortable in those situations now. I was, I was in travel mode. I was in spend as little as possible and travel as long as you can kind of mode. As a being in my 20s and getting around. 2K a month, yeah, yeah. I would aim for that these days as like a minimum of being able to enjoy life, good food, good adventures, getting good accommodations when you're going out of town, staying in the fincas, going glamping and flying to the coast. It could be done on 1K a month is probably a bare minimum comfortable. 2K a month, you're getting comfy. 3, 5, 10, 20K a month, you're living real good. Daniel, how we doing? Dan Hawes. When I'm talking about getting a rack welded on the motorbike, Daniel Hawes is the guy that I was with when we did that. Hell yeah, good to hear from you, man. Incredible times riding through Central America with a good mate and a surfboard. Come on. I think I might have to. I've got my eyes on the KLR 650 2022. I think it's time to fly back to the U.S. At some point and ride it back down to Colombia. I don't know if the borders would allow that right now. I think most Central American borders are negotiable. I think that type of everything is negotiable thing is so that's the kind of thing, right? So it's sometimes corruption helps some people get things done. So what's decreed and what's done is quite often different throughout Latin America. It's hard. You want to change it. You want to be less corrupt. You've got to say, like, okay, well now I can't get through that border because I can't do it as is decreed. So then now, the trip's over. Like, what are you supposed to do, right? So it's like that's kind of the dilemma that I think a lot of the world finds itself in. How can you rid corruption from the highest levels when you've found a way of life, or it's quite normal to have a way of life that has a micro level of corruption inherent in it. So it's a challenge for these times. Used to be a property manager in vacation homes. Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, I remember you sent me a message through Instagram as well. Let's talk. I've got something to talk about. All right, I'm convinced that the Colombians' problems are far outweighed by the benefits. Colombians' problems. We will get out of this icky situation. I think so. I think things potentially going to calm down a little bit, but I think on a macro global scale, things are still unfolding, and I don't think we're out of this at all. All right, Crystal Moonshot. Jump in and get the deets. New coin. All right, another Moonshot coin. By the way, guys, if you see comments on my videos, I've noticed there's a new type of scan when I make a video about crypto or real estate or whatever it is. Someone comes along and they says, "Oh, hey, I just joined this this guy called Carlos Brennan on Telegram, and he got me, I started trading with him and I made like $2,000 in the last week. You can find him here." Then someone replies with a new profile and looks real person. And it's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I also learned from him. It was great, simple strategy." And then another one chimes in, "Oh, yeah, I did really well with that guy, blah, blah, blah." So it's like they do raids, they do comment raids designed to get you over to Telegram and to buy a product that doesn't exist, or to send money to a trading account that doesn't, that is a scam. So please be careful in the comment section. about that. Those are the kind of things that you can check in on my Digital Abundance crypto Telegram group, if you want to kind of check to see if that's legit or not. Travis, Palomino is a magical place. I rented a motorcycle and rode out there, and it was the time of my life. Yeah, a motorbike is the way to get around the coast. There's a motorcycle rental, Colombian riders in Santa Marta, run by a guy from Quebec, and you can rent a motorbike for about 100,000 pesos, $30 for the day. Totally recommended. Just because otherwise you're gonna try to get a bumpy Jeep or something. I don't know. Get a motorbike. What are you doing? Up to the rivers, waterfalls, and Minca, down to the beaches. Hell yeah! All right. Venice Beach, nice. Okay, Cesar, I hope you're well. I want to ask you, in recent days, you have witnessed all the inequality and corruption problems in Colombia. In what period do you think all of this will change? I don't think it changes. I think it continues. And I think the way it continues depends on the consciousness of our own corruption and the consciousness of the opportunities in the digital realm, which are the greatest chance this generation has ever seen to change your status and your wealth class. So I'm currently collaborating with somebody to kind of to do what I can to do a piece in this, but I think the sooner the local population realizes that they can code, they can create, they can invest in this new digital infrastructure, that's the biggest chance that I can see that things can be redistributed. I mean, apart from some type of global universal basic income initiative that gets passed down through the ranks when countries comply with certain levels of lockdowns and quarantines to the standard of the international monetary funds that are going to indebt the country as they offer universal basic income to people, basically cementing people's position. So there's that. All right. Do you think that the recent protest will lead to the current president being voted out, or is he still popular among the silent majority? Is there a chance a leftist president will be elected next? Predicting the future. I gotta look into the flame. Okay. Do I think the recent protest will lead to the current president being voted out? It'll be part of it. Yes, I don't see him getting voted back in again. I don't think anyone's happy. He was obviously, they're all puppets. I think he was not the greatest puppet. Or is he still popular amongst it? No. Okay. Is there a chance a leftist president will be elected next? There's a chance, and that's scary. And that's well, not leftist. Let's say extreme leftist is scary. Leftist, okay. There's a chance, and I've been 100% bullish throughout all my time in Colombia on the future of the country. Should that happen, it would be a big blow. It would be a big blow. It's the one thing that I'm not I wouldn't be bullish on. All right. Are there sellers of e-bikes and e-motorcycles, parts and/or services? Are they more often imported? Yeah, they're mostly imported. There are quite a few popping up. They've started kind of with the electric scooters, but in Medellin as well as Bogota, there's some electric bicycle coming in. They're still pretty expensive. So electric bike is kind of pricey. I'm hearing that China has a lot of lower priced electric cars. I think they're starting to come in. Yeah, for cars, but also bicycles. So as soon as they get down, I think we're starting to. I think right now we're all realizing, okay, what's the difference between a bicycle and a motorbike? If your bicycle is fully electric and can go, 50, 60, maybe 80 k's an hour, when does it become a motorbike? And when do you need a license? And when can you use the bike lanes and when can you not? So that's a whole nother area that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Medellin, I would. It's harder on a bicycle. I get it. There's some of my getting around could be done on a bicycle, but I think the motorbike is the best move for Medellin. A car is, I guess, essential if you need to get around more people, but traffic is not traffic. Medellin used to complain about the traffic in Bogota. They say, "Oh no, Bogota's got all the traffic," but I think they don't mention that too much anymore because the last couple of years of Medellin, it's been getting pretty crammed on the roads. William, can you open up bank account 3 months? BI retire, yes or no? Once you come in, I mean, if you're retired, BI retire. I'm not sure the present or future tense there, but if you are receiving a pension, you should be able to get a retirement visa. With that visa, you can open up the bank account. If you just come, as soon as you get off the plane, you only have the stamp for your first 90 days that you can extend to 183 days or 180, then it's much harder to open up a bank account. So you could either open up an Alianza Valores brokerage account, which you can do from outside the country, or you can wait here till you get the visa and then go into the bank. And then because you'll have a cedula, and the cedula opens up a world of ease in Colombia for getting cell phone plans, for doing any kind of paperwork ever, opening up bank accounts, getting real estate you can do with your passport, but the cedula just gets you all of the kind of local services. Okay. This is were you aware of all of the problems that Colombia has up to now? Aware? Yeah. I mean, I've been to various protests over the years, and I remember banging pots on the balcony in Bogota at the end of 2019 before this pandemic went down. There was frustration and outrage, and it's there's social leaders who are being assassinated. There's corruption at the highest level. There's a government which it just really struggles to get the money into projects and into things that need it to be. Medellin has it most together. It's one of the governments with the most organization and most progress over these years. So yeah, I've been aware of it, but it's always like, how does it change? And the way I've been going about it is, I just try to help people think. Like, if people can think and analyze and realize and become aware of it, we're naturally going to make our reality congruent with that awareness. It's the things that we live in ignorance. It's just, that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing that there is just awareness is reaching. We're reaching mass awareness of some of these frustrating issues, and it's bubbling up. And I think that awareness, you can only lie to yourself for so long, and collectively, as we're all aware of this situation, I think that eventually starts reorganizing the reality around us. So, I'm not completely in the camp where it's like, oh, just stop the protest, get back to work. I'm like, well, yeah, there's real things that need to be expressed and and kind of resonated into existence as like, okay, this is a real problem. People, like real people are being hurt, real people are being held back. Um, at the same time, as opposed to the all this energy on anger with the system, anger with the system, as opposed to look at the opportunities of new systems we have. Let's do that. Like, it's such a it's a massive issue, but I think it's easier to create a new system than it is to dissolve. I think old systems are dissolved when we all start paying attention and using new systems, because they weaken in power, they weaken in all of those things. And I know that may not play out exactly like that in Colombia, but at the individual level, when it comes to, okay, I can choose to use this currency to do business with this person through this way, or I can choose this currency to do business directly with that person in a different jurisdiction, because we have access to this digital environment, and we start creating new systems and using new systems and educating in new systems that allow us to not become a victim of the current old system. So that's where I'm focusing the majority of my energy, and instead of being out being angry, I think that's where I'm choosing to invest my time. What's up, Fletcher? How you doing? Fletcher, the guy in Cabo to connect with if you're interested in real estate. I know Mexico is getting a lot of attention right now. There's an exodus happening in the U.S., and I think Mexico is the first step. I think Tulum is going to be a stepping stone towards places like Palomino and Minca. I've heard that some of the people going to Tulum for the social media clout has certainly taken away the vibes. That's kind of why I try to tell Colombia to be ready. I know I'm an active participant in promoting these places to the world, because I've seen how tourism is one of these new systems, new industries that isn't being like isn't being choked by these older, greedier, outdated systems. Tourism is a new flourishing industry here in Colombia, and it allows entrepreneurs to develop businesses and create incomes and help the quality of life of so many people. But at the same time, mass tourism does have a down. So I try to promote it with a awareness that, okay, the type of people that come and the awareness of the impact of that tourism on the environment is important. So I try to integrate that into my promotional messages. Yeah, no more. So president can only serve one term now in Colombia. No more 2 terms. Only 4 years now as president in Colombia. Travis, what's your favorite staking crypto? All right, that would have to be on. Algo is easy, but I'm gonna have to say. I think I'm gonna have to say Hex. Check it out. Do your own research. But I like. It seems like there's from even before the 2017 bull run, it seems like there's some OG crypto developer dramas that really forked the communities, and so there was some of that, but it seems to me that the main creator is developing a system that is that creates some pretty interesting staking rewards. So I would check out Hex. I'm also checking out Cake Defi, which is another one. Yeah, I'll say those two for now. Do your own research and join in the Digital Abundance Telegram chat group and let us know. Other people have some ideas in there as well. But yeah, staking is a great way to put aside some profits that you might not be hunting without season on. All right, so was I able to fix the drone? I was able to. I went into Monterrey. It looks like it's going to be okay. It'll be about 900,000 pesos, about $300 to get the gimbal back on the drone. That drone, the Mavic Pro DOS, the Mavic Pro 2, it is the best drone on the market so far. I know the Mavic Air 2 is potentially better in that it's lightweight. The camera might not be as good, but I think it might be pretty close. And then there's the FPV drones, which I want to get into, but getting that kind of stuff in Colombia can be a bit of a challenge. So yeah, it'll get fixed. I also checked out some Bitcoin ATMs when I was in Monterrey, which is like the tech centro comercial in Medellin. And both of the ATMs were not functioning because I didn't have cash, which maybe means that a lot of people were using them. But it seems like there was like a 15% to 20% commission on getting out Bitcoin into Colombian pesos. I'm like, okay, surely I could figure out a better way to do that. So I didn't do that. But it's good to know that there is that option there. Okay, the brokerage account is Alianza Valores brokerage account. If you want an introduction, let me know. Send me an email. Alianza Valores. All right, cool. All right, they're still closing all the places early due to COVID in Colombia. Yeah, so things were going really well. Let's say February to March, or like even January to March. Medellin was popping. It was, the Airbnbs were full. The digital nomad cafes were full. It was just rebounding like no other. And then Semana Santa came along, and we've just been through 5 or 6 weeks of complete lockdowns for the weekends. So Friday to Sunday, stay on your home because we can't handle everyone out there risking lives. So I that was when I kind of I got out as much as I could. But it certainly interrupted the flow, interrupted the comeback in Medellin. So right now, as of today, as of a couple hours ago, the current restrictions are from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So you have to be, you have to head home by 10 p.m. It's better. It's still whatever. It's not a lot of fun. But it's better than before. I think they've done that to ease the pressure off people mentally because it's pretty tense time, and to restrict any type of social interaction is way too harsh. So I assume they're doing that because if they don't, then people have people stay out late, they drink, maybe they have more accidents, maybe there's more pressure on the emergency room, so that's why they're closing down at 10 p.m. because apparently the intensive care units are at capacity. Okay. The mall only has Bitcoin Cash ATMs, not Bitcoin. Okay, it seemed like it was Bitcoin. But yeah, I didn't go through because the systems weren't even on because it's like, sorry, we don't got any cash. Okay, good to know. Bitcoin Cash. Okay. What exchange is good for Colombian citizens that will allow crypto transfers from the US? Okay, what exchange? So what we're seeing right now is that Binance is the most Colombian friendly exchange. Reserve is an app that I'm keeping an eye on. Their mission is to prevent and help people evade hyperinflation. So Reserve is the #1 finance app in Venezuela right now because it allows people to send dollars, pesos, as well as crypto to and from the app very easily. And they're one of these new crypto companies that are starting to pop up. They have a token which is called RSR, and buying that token means that you essentially own part of that bank, and as more people use it, the value of that token goes as well. So they've opened up in Colombia as of a couple of weeks ago. They were getting so many new members that they had to close new members, and they've been hiring and building their team. It's really interesting. They're doing, instead of having an office with a teller, with tellers and massive amounts of staff, there's a live YouTube stream that you can go to just like this, and you can interact with someone from Reserve who will help you with whatever your questions are. So, I'm just really fascinated. I'm really enjoying watching this space. So Binance, and keep an eye on Reserve, because it's big in Venezuela and Argentina. If things continue, I'm sure it's going to get a lot of attention in Colombia. Did I mention acceptance at stores, business, individuals? Not too much, and not seeing it around too much. And I was saying that in Monterrey, the Centro Comercial in Medellin, there's a Bitcoin ATM which apparently gives out Bitcoin Cash. I've been checking with a couple people. Can I pay in crypto? I wanted to get a first person drone, and I was like, do you accept crypto? And they were like, yep. So for everything's negotiable. I think that's why Colombia, as more and more people become aware and conscious of these digital opportunities, I think it's going to provide a very, very valuable service to this country in this moment that it's in right now. So the trend is more and more people are figuring it out. It's super simple to do. It's easier than opening up a Bank Colombia account. If people kind of don't do it because they're like, oh, I don't know how it works. They don't know, but it's easier than opening up a local bank account. So, I'm figuring out ways to kind of help people on board a little bit easier. And when people ask me like, okay, how do I do it? Well, just get anything. Put in 50,000 pesos, put in 100,000 pesos, and just do that, and then see, just to see what happens. Just that process alone will show you a lot about what it is and what's happening, and then go from there. All right. Yes, Binance. What's up, Javi in Panama? I recommend ADA. Yeah. So in the beginning, I did mention ADA they seem to be plugging into building the infrastructure of Africa, which has huge potential. They seem to be a lot more advanced in integrating those systems, just because they may have a bigger need for it. I guess at the stage they're at, such a diverse range of countries and economies and political systems. It seems like ADA is getting ready to serve those markets. So cool. Yeah, don't get chasing the FOMO. That's a great way to lose money. Yeah, chasing the FOMO. You see a big pump, you're like, oh, things are going up. Should I buy it? When everyone's saying it's going one way, go the other way. That's just, when everyone's saying it's going that way, it's time to turn directions. But there's a lot of opportunities there, so wouldn't be too worried. There'll be some learning mistakes, but it's still very well worth it in the end. Whew, okay. caught up to the end of the comments there. Thanks for joining in. Where are we going from here? I've found myself on a finca that I've been envisioning for the past few years. In the jungle, near Medellin, very close to some fresh water and some creeks and beautiful views, and there's birds, and it's exactly where I've been wanting to live for a very long time. It's a shame that the world and the country is in the situation that it is in right now. I think the current protests are cooling down. I think a wound has been opened that is going to be healed or is currently healing, and I think that healing comes from the conversations and the national dialogue that happens over the next couple of weeks. I think there may be some of the instigators and some of the extremist opposition groups that may still try to instigate further violence, but I think the majority of the people who had legitimate reasons for protesting are realizing that, and they're developing ways and getting more proactive about weeding out people who are vandalizing, who are destroying things. So that's a thing. That's where we're at. That's my perspective. Thank you guys for sharing your perspective. Let's see where we go from here. I'm going to be exploring the digital realm. Make sure to head over to the Telegram chat groups. They're in the chat group here, but I'll copy and paste them just to make sure. Because this is all about conversation. That's where things are happening right now. Over on Telegram, the internet is changing. It's evolving. I think we're over the past 20 years, we've moved away from a couple centralized meta narratives into defragmented, decentralized narratives, and I think that's potentially a good thing. But it means that we're becoming more dependent on each other as opposed to one central authority, or at least I think that's where what we should be trying to do, as opposed to becoming more and more dependent on that centralized authority, which is obviously desperate for control. So I'll leave it at that. What's coming? I'm going to be sending through investment opportunities as they arise on the newsletter. I'm going to be developing content around a more personal side of the journey, which I haven't shared too much on this channel, but it's about my relationship with scoliosis and kyphosis that I've actually been kind of working with over the past 20 years when it first started appearing, and different exercises and movements and breathing and workouts that have helped me align and straighten and correct and even increase my height, which is kind of crazy. The last couple of years since I've recovered from a tight psoas that was choking out my system, I've been on a health journey that has taken me to new levels. I've gotten taller. I feel great. I feel really capable in all of these different physical situations that I'm going through, climbing mountains and motorbikes and jumping around and playing sports. It's incredible the physical transformation that I've been on. I'm paying attention to crypto. There's going to be something coming out there for that in Spanish. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. All right, Mark, I'll take this question, then we'll wrap up the stream. I've got 2,000 algo coins. I'm itching to get into Cardano. thinking about converting half into ADA because maybe ADA grows faster. Potentially, I mean, you're staying, you know, you're staying focused on a fewer amount of coins. I, at the moment, because I'm taking more of an aggressive play, because of what I'm, you know, I put in an amount that I accept as high risk. I'm going for higher rewards, so I'm putting 20% in the larger stuff, and then 80% across a basket of more small cap, higher potential asymmetrical reward coins, which means basically I'm putting 20% into the big stuff, 80% into the small stuff, because you're going to see much higher gains. I mean, if you're looking for faster growth, maybe. Algo's been a little bit quiet. I don't know, but I mean, I think if you're looking, it depends on your risk profile. If you want to keep it pretty low risk, as it seems that you're doing, I'd say yes. I'd say go for it. Oh yeah, actually I would. But if you want to go for a bit more higher risk, I would be looking at something a bit smaller, maybe one, maybe RSR, maybe what else is going? Soul is also going, but yeah, I mean you're keeping it safe, but those sound like good ones. So jump in the Digital Abundance Telegram chat group and let us know what you do. All right, guys. See you guys another time. Thanks for joining this Sunday. Great to connect. I want to see how we can continue doing this. So, cheers, guys. Have a good evening.